Welcome to Coastal Cooking with your host, Carmela Campbell. Coastal Cooking brings you the Gulf Coast's finest chefs cooking their delicious recipes with all-natural gas. This show is brought to you by Energy Services of Pensacola. And now, Coastal Cooking.
We are at Distinctive Kitchens in downtown Pensacola today with our guest chef, Executive Chef Irv Miller from Jackson's
Hi,
Restaurant.
Carmela. How are you doing?
I am doing great. And have you got one fabulous dish for us today?
I certainly do. Would you like me to talk about it?
I would like to talk about it.
All right. I've got some great steak cuts here, and just a little bit about steak and meat and selecting a great steak. This is actually a New York strip, which is from a loin cut. And if you see, you can see the little white specks in there. This one's got great marbleization. This is actually a prime cut. And over here I've got a big boy 24-ounce porterhouse steak, which is an awesome piece of meat. It has the tenderloin on it, and then on this side is the New York strip. So this is a great cut for like two people when they come in the restaurant. And you can grill this and take it off the bone and serve a tenderloin and a strip. And over here, and this is the one that we're going to do today, this is the ribeye, and it is these are all aged meats, and this is an awesome piece of meat too. This is probably my favorite cut of meat over a prime piece of meat, but I'm getting really kind of hungry for this piece, and by the end of this thing you'll see why. But this is certified Angus beef, which is the top 2/3 of all the choice cuts. So CAB, choice, kind of the same thing, CAB being the top 2/3. So anytime you hear certified Angus beef, that's what you're getting. You're getting a great quality. So I'm ready to get this thing cooking.
Now there's several components because this is going to be one dish.
That's correct.
And the ribeye steak is the base.
We're gonna get the ribeye steak going, and you could technically put that on mashed potatoes or something to kind of fill it or put under there. And then we're going to fry some green tomatoes with a cornmeal tempura batter, which is a little bit different than your traditional method. And then we're going to do some andouille cream and crab on top of that. It's just terrible.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can't wait to taste this terrible dish.
All right, let's get this going. Now, with an aged piece of meat, when I say aged, about 21 days, it doesn't require a whole lot of marinating or any marinating at all for that matter, because it has an acquired flavor to it, which is kind of buttery, and it has a great soft texture to it, and it has a really unique flavor. So I really don't do much but a little fresh cracked pepper, which I already pre-cracked, and some salt. And I'm just going to push that in there a little bit. And I have a little bit of oil. Let's see if we can not have any major fires today.
Because you preheated your
because we had to preheat the pan a little bit. I've been known to have the fire department show up for some flaming in my cooking classes.
Now you could grill this, of course.
You could.
Today
Actually, the recipe calls to grill this
fry.
steak. And I chose today to show you how versatile it is, and we can put this right in here. See, it's already searing, it's barely touching the pan, but put it away from you when you put it down so you don't splash that hot oil on you.
Another chef's tip. See, great to know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then while this is already starting to cook, you know, a little bit more salt and pepper, but you don't really need to overdo it. We're just trying to bring out the flavor on this.
And you're going to cook this to medium rare?
I'm going to cook this ribeye to medium rare to medium. Ribeye is kind of one of those steaks that, due to the fat content of it, you really don't want to cook a ribeye rare. You want to cook it minimally medium rare. So that's what we're going to do with that. And while this is cooking, I want to show you the crab cream. We're going to start with a little bit of andouille sausage. I have a great quality andouille sausage here. And you could put it on a cutting board and chop it up into a small dice. But I kind of like the texture of the food processor. So the recipe, you know, gives you the alternative or option to put it in a food processor. So that's what I've done with this. I really like this because it kind of maximizes the flavor because it's so much opened up. And it's like a gravy.
You're getting more
sausage. A little gravy consistency. So let's go ahead and get some of this in the pan. And I'm going to turn that
And you
back
added
up.
no oil to this.
No oil because there's a little bit of a fat content already to the sausage. And that's going to take a few minutes. Once we get the cream in there, actually I'm going to put a lot. There we go. Once we get the cream in there, it'll come to a boil. We'll reduce to a simmer, let it kind of thicken up, and all that'll happen while this show is going on. So by the end of the show, we'll have a beautiful sauce.
Now this is one of your most popular dishes.
This is. We can't seem to be careful. I don't want to splash you. I'm not starting any fires yet.
That's okay.
Yes, this is a very popular dish for people, first-timers especially, that come to Jackson's and they really don't know what to order. It's the hickory ribeye with the fried green tomatoes is awesome. So we're already getting a really nice caramelization on there. I'm going to just try
how
and
will
keep
you
this
know when
adjusted.
this is at the proper temperature that you want? Medium rare.
I know by touch.
Touch?
Yes. Now you could always cut a steak open and check it from the bottom, but you know it's one of those experience things, and a good. There's a couple ways to do it. You know, this is they call rare, and as you move up and it's firmer, it becomes medium to medium well. But
that's
you know, when it's tender, it's kind of like the
like
soft part of your muscle, and the firmer it is, the more well done it is. And if you get to the really hard consistency, then you know it's well done.
Well done.
Okay, so I've got the cream going, or I'm going to have the cream going. You can see I've got a nice little caramelization going on there.
And that's just heavy cream?
It's just heavy cream, just delectable, rich, no calorie cream.
Of course. And you know, this is where natural gas really has the advantage. For sauces,
absolutely.
you can control that flame
And you see, I'm also going to fry those tomatoes, so that's a good point when you've got the gas. You don't usually see people trying to fry on open gas. It's usually a little fryer. But we'll show you how detailed and fine you can use gas to keep that at the accurate temperature. So we're doing good. I'm going to, there's an option of adding a little bit of garlic. The recipe doesn't say it, but you could add a little bit of garlic to this as well. And I'm putting this in as we go. A little shallot, just for a little flavor.
Right.
Now I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
And
that's going to reduce.
That's going to reduce.
That reduce.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. So the benefit of, I'll probably turn it one more time. Do be careful. I don't want to splash you. The benefit of the pan is once I take the steak out of the pan, all I have to do is drain off the fat, and I've got all this good caramelization and flavor going on in the pan.
Don't get rid of that.
I'm not. Okay. So we're just going to continue. It's a relatively thin cut of meat, and you can pan saute a thin cut of meat fairly well. If I was going to do a piece of meat like that, I would have to start it in the pan, pull the pan off, take the meat out, put it on a pan, and transfer it into the oven, just to make sure that it gets done to the right temperature.
That looks good. Looks great. Is this a good time for us to take a commercial break?
Sure is.
Okay. We'll be right back after
it.
these messages.
When just one average home switches their non-gas water heater to natural gas, it removes 3,000 plus pounds of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, from the atmosphere every year. So, how much is that? About this much. So when you switch to a natural gas water heater, that's one less rhino's worth of CO2 in the sky.
ESP Natural Gas, the cleaner, greener choice, naturally. For rebate information, visit espnaturalgas.com.
If this is what you think it's like to operate a natural gas appliance, think again. Today's natural gas appliances are the most technologically advanced, safest appliances available. Natural gas appliances provide warm, even heat for your home, and they heat water and dry clothes faster. 9 out of 10 professional chefs prefer to cook with natural gas. And most importantly, natural gas appliances are earth-friendly. When you see the latest natural gas appliances at an ESP Comfort Plus appliance dealer, you'll see why natural gas is the natural choice.
Welcome back. We're cooking today with Chef Irv Miller from Jackson's, and our steak is cooked to perfection.
I must say I've been having fun so far, and I hope to have more fun throughout the show.
Well,
You've been a pleasure.
Have fun.
We are at the stage right now where we can take this out. It's cooked to a perfect medium rare. Let's just transfer this and hold this. Now, once again, if that was a thick cut of meat, you could take the meat out, put it in the oven, let it cook to medium rare. It takes a little while in the pan, so a thin cut is best for the pan.
Okay.
Now, what I want to do is I've got all this great caramelization going on here, which are the flavor from the beef and all the good sugars that it emits and all the flavor. And I just want to take off some of this excess oil, which I'll do. Don't need that. Extra fat.
Right.
And we're going to put this back on the flame. We still got to have a nice heat going on here, so This is a great time to start adding all the flavors that we need for our pan sauce. Little shallots,
Garlic.
little garlic. Of course, you can change that to as much as you like. Now, I've got some cremini mushrooms here. Button mushrooms would be fine, but I have some creminis, which are actually, do you know what they are? Baby portobello.
Baby portobello.
And
I bet a lot of folks didn't know that.
I don't think they probably do. And so we're just going to saute this up a little bit. If you wanted to, you could add a little butter to this, because a little saute on that would be fine.
Because you didn't add any additional oil.
Well, I kind of took a little oil out, a lot of oil out
Right.
actually. So we want to make sure that this has got a little saute, a little coating. Okay. So now we're going to flambe a little bit. Got some brandy here. The trick with flambe is make sure that your pan is hot. Usually you can move it over to the edge for just a minute or so, or 30 seconds, depending on how hot your pan is. But get that edge good and hot, that edge right there, and then
okay.
pull it off the heat and stand back like you are. Put in your brandy and just kind of tilt it up just a little
There
bit.
you go. And
There you
expect
go.
that to happen.
A little pop of
It will
flame.
flame.
You don't want a 6-foot flame. You just want a nice little controlled flame, and we're just burning off the alcohol.
And make sure that you stand back.
Yes,
too. I mean, it's very
your
important
hair,
to be
your
careful.
face. I would definitely suggest that, definitely. Now at this stage, it's absorbed quite quickly into the mushrooms. So I have a little
okay.
demi-glace here. Just going to add a little demi-glace.
Now, Irv, can you buy demi-glace or do you have to make
You
it?
absolutely can. Old school days, you couldn't find it anywhere. You had
Right.
to ask the guys at the restaurant. But all the gourmet restaurants are handling it now. Some of the
Right.
fish stores are handling it even as well. So.
Look how rich that looks.
Yeah, we're just going to let that kind of marry a little bit and get some great flavors going on here. And also, I'm going to whisk my cream reduction sauce. And this, you can see it's almost ready to go. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off.
You've had this
what
on
I
a
would
low
do
flame?
also is just a little pinch of salt and pepper, maybe
Okay.
even more pepper, because the andouille is a little salty already. So
Okay.
you have to really be aware of that. So I'm going to turn that off. You could actually add cream to this if you want to, but when we put this dish together, we've got cream and demi-glace, so it kind of is a nice contrast. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit like this.
Okay.
What I would like to do is let's make the cornmeal tempura. A little twist on a traditional tempura. Threw some cornmeal in there to kind of give it a southern touch.
Oh, this is for our green tomatoes.
This is for
fried
our green tomatoes, that's correct. Now usually with the green tomatoes I flour them and then I egg wash them and then I put them in breadcrumbs and then I fry them. And so this is kind of
A little different.
a little different. All right, so just going to mix up my egg. And I've got about a cup of cold water here, ice water.
Now,
Ice
why
water's
is-
good because it brings it all together.
Okay, I was gonna
and
ask
it's
you,
going to help
important
make
that
that
it be-
crispy batter. Now, I don't want to add all the water up front because when I add my dry ingredients, I'm trying not to have a lot of lumps going on. So we're
Okay.
trying to make a smooth paste. And I'm going to add my cornmeal. And I'm going to add, these are all half cup measurements according to the recipe. Half a cup of flour. And then a half a cup of cornstarch. Now this'll bread up, I should say, batter up quite a bit of stuff. So
Okay.
it's hard to make the batches any smaller, so I would stick with the recipe, it works. And I'm just going to start to make a paste. Now you have some ingredients over there that we have to add to this too.
Okay.
See, it's already got a nice pasty battered.
And then we want 1 teaspoon each of our salt
That's correct.
and baking powder.
Great.
Now, what does
And
the
that the
baking powder
baking
do?
powder kind of aerates it, it makes it nice and light. Actually, it's not making all that crazy amount of batter. It's going to be just perfect. Recipe does call for a cup of ice water, so I still put that in kind of in stages. And I think we've got a good batter right there.
That looks wonderful. It's
See
a
how
thin
simple
batter
that is?
too,
It's very
but
thin batter. I
going to
might
be a
add
great
another
coating.
tablespoon of cornmeal to that. Awesome, perfect. So, shall we fry some tomatoes?
Let's fry some
Let's see if our
tomatoes.
temperature's set up here correctly.
What temperature did you want this
You
to
know,
be?
it's almost perfect. It should be about 350, and it is 350, 360. So let's go ahead and get some tomatoes going.
Beautiful
see if
green
I
tomatoes, Irv.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You know, that's a
do you
southern
do
thing.
them, in certain thickness? You don't want
I
them real
like at
thin,
least
do
a
you?
1/4 inch,
Okay.
but you know, they have a tendency to even stay hard if you get them too thick and fry them. So let's see
That's
if we
why
can do a
green
sample there.
tomatoes do
Looks like
so
it's
well
going to be
with this.
just right.
Now, how did you know that was just right? You put a little bit
Well,
of batter in it.
Yeah, it's